Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 8, Chapter 21. Sing the Sweet Name. The mariner uses his compass to guide him aright amidst the dark storm clouds and raging waves. When man is overwhelmed by the dark clouds of despair and the raging confusion of irrepressible desires, he too has a compass which will point to him the direction he has to take. That compass is a society that is dedicated to the propagation of spiritual discipline. So long as man is attracted by outer nature, he cannot escape the blows of joy and grief, of profit and loss, of happiness and misery. But if he is attracted by the glory of God within him, as well as within nature, he can be above and beyond these dualities and in perfect peace. The body is the car where God is installed for the festival of adoration. Its four wheels are dharma, righteousness, artha, wealth, kama, desire, and moksha, liberation. The four goals of man, dharma modifying artha, and moksha controlling kama. The car can move only when the fuel of vijnana, higher knowledge, is poured. The tires are to be inflated with faith. The goal is liberation, immortality, merger with the divine, getting immersed in the inner and outer glory. Knowing this is the real aim of man. He who is unaware of this is ignorant. However profound his scholarship may be, he does not know the answer to the only question that is worth asking. Who am I? He may travel to the moon, but he has failed to explore his own inner moon, the mind. When he knows the mind, its composition and behavior, he can know all about the universe too, for the universe is only a creation of the mind. Science cannot confer calmness, peace, and bliss. Men of science must be humble that their discoveries are not so important as the discoveries of sages about the inner reality. Be thankful to the scientist for the inventions, the manipulations of material forces and objects, but do not give them more reverence than they deserve. Science can confer ease and comfort, alleviate disease, analyze objects. It cannot confer calmness, equanimity, peace and bliss. It can improve the cart, make it firmer, more mobile, but it cannot improve or inspire the horse. These 3 days you were engaged in various discussions on spiritual matters, and out of them has emerged certain conclusions, which I shall sum up for your benefit. Measures for the elimination of egoism. The chief among these is the bhajan. Have bhajans, group singing of devotional songs, as many days as you can in your village or area. Have them in places where all can come and join, and not in the homes of people who may not welcome everyone equally. Have them as simple as you can, without competitive pomp or show. Reduce expenses to a minimum, for God cares for the inner yearning and not the outer trappings. Even this small, unavoidable expenditure must be silently shared spontaneously by a few members of the committee, and not collected by means of a plate or pot, or a subscription or donation list. The participants must be bound by love, affection and loyalty to one name and form. Bhajans are best held on Thursday evenings and Sunday evenings. But that is no unbreakable rule, for it is not the day of the week that counts. It is the heart that must be ready and eager to imbibe the joy and share it. As a matter of fact, bhajan is a constant exercise. It has to be as essential as breathing. Sai organization members should not be fanatics. Group bhajans must be arranged to suit the conveniences of the locality and the people. Some people affirm that the bhajans used at the Prashanti Nilayam alone should be sung. But God is omnipresent. He is the indweller in every heart. All names are His, so you can call on Him by any name that gives joy. Members of Sathya Sai organizations must not cavil at other names and forms of God. They should not become fanatics, blind to the glory of other names and forms. They should join the groups that honor those other manifestations and demonstrate that all names and forms are mine. They should contribute to the joy and happiness of all without giving up their faith. Then there arises the issue of meditation. Apart from the dhyana that you do individually, it is good for you to sit for 10 to 15 minutes at the place where you did the bhajan and offer Omkar. Collect your thoughts and meditate on the God whom you adored for so long. You can meditate on the flame of a lamp in front of you and cause it to illuminate your inner consciousness and overflow into entire creation. Dhyana sanctifies all activities and controls the mind. You can picture the God whom you adored in bhajan in the splendor of that overflowing light. The group dhyana after bhajan will prepare the ground for individual dhyana in your own homes. The taste will grow. The duration will become longer. The peace that fills you will become deeper. I insist on dhyana as an indispensable item of sadhana, spiritual discipline, for every member of this organization. Reading is not completion of the journey. Then about the study circles. I am not for indiscriminate reading of books, however valuable they may be. Much reading confuses the mind. It fosters argumentation and intellectual pride. What I insist upon is putting the things read into practice, at least a thing or two. Moreover, you must always remember that the book is only a pointer, a guide, a signpost. Reading is not the completion of the journey. It is only the first step. Read for the sake of practicing, not for reading's sake. Too many books in the room indicate that a person is suffering from intellectual illness, just as too many tins, capsules and bottles in the cupboard indicate a person with physical illness. The reading of books or passages from books is best done at some other time and not as a continuation of bhajan or as a preliminary to it. Then we have this program of Naga Sankirtan, moving choirs. It is nothing new, for Jayadev, Gauranga, Tukaram and Kabir use this type of namasmarana, remembering of God's name, as a means of self-improvement and mass spiritual awakening. Gather in the early hours before dawn, say about 4:30 a.m. or 5, and proceed slowly along the streets, singing bhajan songs and glorifying God. Carry the name of God to every door. Wake the sleeping with it. Purify the atmosphere of the streets, rendered unclean by angry shouts of hate or greed, faction or fight. Let the day dawn for you and others with the thought of the Almighty, the compassionate, the omnipresent, all-knowing God. What greater service can you do to yourself and others? This will give you health and happiness. Your egoism will be shattered when you sing in the streets in full view of your neighbors. You will forget in your enthusiasm all pride and self-esteem. Thus this Naga Sankirtan is a great sadhana, a great piece of social service. The most precious prasad is vibhuti. Another point was raised yesterday, a small one about prasadam, the edible that is usually offered to the Lord after bhajan and distributed as consecrated food to the participants. Well, the edible offering is to be avoided. The name itself is the best consecrated offering to be shared. You can give vibhuti, holy ash, as prasad. That is enough. That is the most precious and effective prasad. It is now your duty to carry on the activities of your unit of the Sathya Sai organizations in the most effective manner, becoming yourselves fine models of behavior and attitude. These 3 days you have spent here with fellow pilgrims from other parts of the country and other nations throughout the world must have given you both information and inspiration. The Sathya Sai Seva Samiti of Bombay, as well as the Prashanti Vidwan Mahasabha, Maharashtra branch, have made fine arrangements for your boarding and lodging and for the conference. They have planned and executed the programs of the conference on a grand scale in order to highlight the spiritual purpose of the conference and to give you all the chance of my darshan, sparshan and sambhashana, observing, touching and conversing. You must be grateful to them for this. They have set an example which will serve other samitis in other cities. I bless you that you may, by your efforts in your places, promote the spiritual progress of yourselves and the people of the world. World Conference of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Seva Organizations, Bombay, evening, May 18th, 1968. Some people have their minds and senses like cotton balls, and a spark of jnana will set them ablaze, and they achieve victory. Some others have them like dried sticks. They take longer time, but victory is certain. Most have minds and senses like green fuel, and even the raging fire of jnana may be put out by the onslaught of the moisture contained in them. Make your mind and senses like clean, finely ginned cotton. Sri Sathya Sai Baba.